Hal Jordan, the greatest Green Lantern of all time, will end up being sidelined in the new Lantern show that comes out on August. New trailer just popped up today, and me and my boy Flyknit are going to discuss it, give our thoughts, reactions. Please like, sub, and subscribe if you want to hear more about comic book content. Without further ado, let's get into it.
All right.
Now, Flyknit, for me, this was a perfect trailer. Didn't give us too much, didn't give us too little. We know what the show is generally about. Sprinkled in a few characters. Boom, that's it. How you feel about the overall atmosphere of the trailer? Didn't give us too much, did it?
No, I thought it was solid. I know for us, we prefer really as little as possible in a trailer, and we've said it plenty of times. We only need one. I only need one. I'm good to go. I'm in the seat or in front of my TV where it needs to be. But as far as this Green Lantern trailer, I thought it was solid. I mean, I'm looking good. Looking to see Kyle Jordan, Aaron Pierre back. Obviously, Aaron Pierre is rising in fame and like he's breaking through here. So this is one of his really first big breaks, I would say. So it's good to see what he's going to be able to do here. Him and Kyle Jordan have him and Hal Jordan, I guess, have good chemistry here. So yeah, I'm interested to see because I've really, and we talked about this before, I haven't really seen them together much. Now, I'm a casual watcher. I don't love the comics like you. Obviously watch Justice League and obviously the movies, so very little. But I haven't seen them really together much and kind of set in this path where they're kind of a duo cop, as it says in the description here. And obviously, Aaron Pierre is getting trained as John Stewart. Like, I'm interested to see what they do because I want to see how they tie in the Earth stuff of like this is a cop story along with the elements of Green Lantern, which I always say this: when you have a central story and then you accent the superhero stuff on top of it, it usually makes it better.
Yeah, I'm not even sure they're going to do that. I actually have a feeling it's going to be a lot more superhero stuff in here than we think. That's why I like the trailer so much. It didn't give us a whole bunch of hero stuff. I think that's just kind of trying to deceive us. Like maybe like half trailer in, we finally see Aaron Pierre getting thrown, or not getting thrown, but in the car as Kyle Chandler's character, Hal Jordan, just jumps out the car, part of his training. So it's going to be a nice little training arc that Aaron Pierre does. Clearly, he has to fly to get out of that, or at least create some kind of lantern shield. I also like that. Thank God we're not getting a full origin story for either one of these characters because you can just throw them in, just like you did Nathan Fillion's Guy Gardner, who will also be in the show. You can just say, "Hey, they're also Green Lanterns. This is the newest recruit, John Stewart." That's all we really need, really.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, so I agree much with you. Cutting it out, the fact that you put them there, okay, they're there now. What's happening? How is the training going? And like, what are we going to see superhero wise? It's kind of the questions we have. Like, I don't need to see him eating breakfast and then he gets a lantern ring go through his window. Yeah. You got to start with him as a child. Like, we see enough of that. We had that with what was the other dude? With Deadpool. What's his name? Ryan Reynolds. Like, we've gotten all the origins we really need because. The thing about origins, they either go silly or they're cool, but we see them too much. Like we gotta the more we cut out. Like even how I do Zack Snyder. Like I'm not a big Zack Snyder fan, but literally just seeing the shadow of Bruce Wayne's parents getting killed in the hallway or in the alley, and then we move on. It's like, okay, cool. Like we're here now, so that's what we want to see. So I'm glad it seems like they're cutting the origin stuff, and we're down to like we got something to do here other than tell an origin story.
Yeah, and it seems like they're butting heads a little bit. This seems like the more cockier John Stewart, like from the 70s and 80s, whatever year he was created in, where he was pushing the fro and was like his own man. Even though he was a recruit, he was his own man, doing what he thought was right. That was a raw story of John Stewart. So it's like they're incorporating that a little bit along with him becoming a good leader. Now, there's some scenes in here I do want to talk about in this trailer. So there's one line on there where I saw some people on TikTok and YouTube complaining about because clearly Hal Jordan is too old. Like for me, Kyle Chandler is 60 years old. I don't think we needed an old Hal Jordan, maybe older, maybe someone like in their 40s, because I want to see Hal Jordan's the most beloved Green Lantern ever. Maybe John Stewart's number 2, then maybe Kyle Ranger's number 3. I'm not looking forward to them sidelining or even possibly sidelining Hal Jordan at all. I'm not, even though I love John Stewart. But there's a scene in here where John is telling Hal that he's washed up, he's too old. The job of Green Lanterns is to protect, and he can't do that anymore. And Hal Jordan turns to him, and he's basically saying, "Man, I've been doing this since before you even thought of. Shut up." And so I'm sitting there, I'm like, people took issue with John Stewart saying that to Hal Jordan. Maybe they thought it was out of character, whatever. I said, but I think it's in character. I think that the reason John Stewart saying that to Hal Jordan is because he sees that Hal isn't up to par like he used to be and doesn't want Hal to get hurt. I think it's going to be some kind of big villain fight or big kind of mystery going on, and he sees, okay, Hal isn't up to this. If he keeps going, he's going to end up dead. So I think that's my theory on why he's even being aggressive in that scene, period.
Yeah, and I think that's something we could open with Kyle Chandler's character is like him in a fight and like, you know what I'm saying, and it being rough for him, getting hurt, maybe having to take some time off. Then he's like, okay, I got to train somebody. Like I can't do this forever. I agree with you there. I mean, Kyle Chandler, I think he's a good actor. Him being 60 years old makes that window 8 years, maybe he could play Greenland, and also too play it without like coming on as a geriatric and just being like, well, he can't really move or do anything. So I agree with there. Maybe go with something. I mean, Aaron Pierre's really young, so apparently for Hollywood. I mean, everybody's 30 in Hollywood when they usually get their start, but yeah, I mean, he's really young. So having somebody that was maybe like 50, maybe early 50s might have worked a little better because that by then you get a nice 10, 12-year window. Then you never know where DC's going to be by then. I mean, you turned up with Robert Downey Jr. You didn't know Marvel was going to end up from 2008 to be in 2000, almost 20, kind of finishing up that little saga and then continuing to go. So you kind of want to paint yourself a 10-year window at least. Kyle Chandler probably has like an 8-year window-ish, so they're gonna do so. They're gonna have to get it out, but I agree there. A little younger would have been better, but I'm interested to see what they do with it, and if they want, you know, Aaron Pierre to take the lead, how exactly do they execute that? Because they have a plan for it. It can work perfectly fine. If they get later and they're like, man, I wish we had him a little longer, could hurt the series or change what they want to do.
Yeah, I mean, they do have. I can see the plan being as simple as, hey. Also, Guy Gardner, who's played by Nathan Fillion, he's pretty old too. But they're not going to choose him to be the leader of How It Dies because no one likes him. And it's like that's something constant with this character, even in the books. He's not really likable. That's one of the reasons why he's my favorite Green Lantern. He's also from Baltimore, Maryland, where I'm from. But they had an animated movie out about this maybe 4 years ago, 3-4 years ago, where it's a retelling of John Stewart's origin story. It's not very good. That part's not good. I don't know how you messed that up. And Hal Jordan ends up being taken out in that movie. And I remember watching the movie and I was like, this is the first movie that Hal Jordan and John Stewart are in this new DC animated universe. And I was so shocked they killed him off, and it made the movie awful. Because how do you kill off someone so fast that is supposed to be the mentor of this guy? I don't like the mentor story. The mentor dies that quickly. I really don't. So I'm hoping they don't do that. That animated movie, it's not even something I want to watch again because I thought the direction was really bad. I can understand trying to get rid of the older character, but I can also understand not making him old in the first place. To give him somebody young. Put me in there. Could have put somebody like me. I got plenty of years. But
I'm sure you take the paycheck too.
Good. I'm hoping that with all the CGI they have, like as far as the superhero stuff we've seen, you clearly we're going to see Aaron Pierre flying out of that car. You see Hal Jordan about to shoot a beam out of his ring at the end of the trailer. You see Hal Jordan flying. He's probably going to be flying out of a couple planes as he's a pilot. So we're going to get some superhero stuff. It's not just going to be dry. And it's a recruitment, like I said, like recruitment and a training show also. So we're going to see a whole bunch of training with the ring, which I'd like that. We don't need a small montage. Give me a little bit of training each episode.
Yeah. Something I do want to ask with these two characters, I haven't really seen them. How do you think their interaction will be in the show? How do you think their relationship will progress? Because it obviously says, I mean, obviously talk about they're close. We haven't quite seen that in the trailer, so I'm sure we'll get to parts of that in the show, or it will develop into that. But how do you think it will be with both of them two? For somebody walking in was like, oh, we got both lanterns, or maybe even all three lanterns instead of just one.
Well, Green Gardner is going to be in the. Not Green Gardner. Guy Gardner is going to be in. He's going to be in the show. I'm hoping that Guy Gardner helps recruit, or maybe even gives John Stewart Arrival, maybe they'll try to say Jon Stewart is around the same age as Guy Gardner. Maybe they'll butt heads a little bit. That would be a fun way to butt heads and get trained by Guy Gardner. I was hoping Kilowog would be in the show, bring another alien. He still might be, because there's some people that are cast in undisclosed roles. They do have a big villain that's going to be in the show. That's confirmed in the show. Sinestro, the arch enemy of the Green Lanterns, is in the show.
Is he a villain yet, or is he still with the Lanterns?
That I don't know, but I'm pretty sure Sinestro is going to be evil. Like, because they're saying that he's in there by himself. Like, as I'm looking at the thing, it even says the description. So description is Ulrich Thompson is playing Sinestro. Description is in the casting that he used to be Green Lantern and now he's a rogue. So we don't know if he has the yellow ring yet, but I'm pretty sure if he's featured in the show and the show is mainly on Earth from what we see, he's got the ring and he's coming to Earth to beat Hal Jordan down. That's his arch nemesis. I'm thinking Jon Stewart's going to end up having to fight him.
Okay.
So we'll see. That's kind of cool. Then I was hoping, because that's one thing I was worried about before coming into this trailer. I said, they're not going to bring in a big villain in the first show, because they're going to, you know, how superhero shows and movies end up killing off the big villain for some reason right away. I said, they're not going to do that to Sinestro. But here he is. I'm surprised about that, actually.
Yeah, well, hopefully you don't kill him off. I mean, they got plenty of people here on Earth who can who can bite the dust early and kind of pave the way for it. That's part two. Sinestro's coming in. I'm interested to see with this kind of detective story, like how that goes down. And something I always think about, like with the accents of Batman, obviously that's the main character. One of the big things is he's a detective. He has to go and figure things out. Haven't really seen that a lot with Lanterns. You probably have more than I have, but I'm wondering how they go about that. What is their investigation tactic, especially because they don't deal with stuff just on Earth, like a little old Western story. They do an intergalactic sometimes investigation. So I wonder how that will be trained, and how can we kind of take something like a good crime detective story and you know, pair it with also intergalactic and make it interesting to be like, well, on Earth it's like this, but usually we got to go through this stuff. Or, you know, I have this story and they can do a flashback of something that's not on Earth, and a good other ways to bring, you know, that kind of intergalactic elements in. So that's something I'm very interested in seeing.
That's a good point. I mean, pretty much once you become a Lantern, you got to do investigations, and you're pretty much a peacekeeper. So they're going to be investigating. But to your point, Hal Jordan was a pilot and got the ring when Abin Sur died in front of him, and then he got whisked away to Oa, the planet of the where the Green Lanterns train, and Kilowog trained him, and I think Sinestro trained him a little bit too. And Jon Stewart was a Marine. I think he was an architect, and then he became a Marine when they retconned it, and so he's just a Marine, but he wasn't an investigator or anything. So that'll be fun to see them bumbling around trying to figure out what's going on. You see them bumping heads in the trailer with I guess a lead detective, maybe even a police chief, wherever they are. Like I said, they didn't give us too much, but which is great. Just give us a little bit. I don't know who this sheriff is or this police chief is. I don't remember her from the book, so that's probably a newer character. Most people in there, like the person you see Hal Jordan interrogating, he's most likely a new character. So it's probably a nice, grounded new story on Earth with some training starting off the show. And then somehow they stumble into a nice little mystery. Then maybe when the mystery's solved, boom, we got Sinestro coming in there. So we'll see. I'm really hoping Sinestro comes down there and beats everybody down. Or if he can't beat everybody down, I'm hoping that all three of the Lanterns together end up pushing him back. That would be a nice thing.
Yeah. That's what I'm ever thinking. I'm thinking something that's happening on Earth, but it has more ties around the galaxy than just on Earth. But yeah, overall, I mean, it looks good. I mean, I like the look of it. Again, they don't show too much, so all the action's kind of waiting. You know, you gotta pay to see it. Like that was some back in the day. You ain't seeing the monster until you show up in the theater. So we're not seeing not seeing the ring really in action until the show gets here. But it's over in August, and I think it's a good teaser. We only got a few months, so it's enough time to where you almost forget about it. And it's like, oh, Lanterns is out next week. I can't wait to start watching it. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm definitely looking forward to where James Gunn's vision is going to take this. I feel like we're still pretty early here, and this is what the third show we're getting. I think Creature Commanders, and obviously we have Peacemakers or anything else, but I think this is the third one. So interested to see, especially with some main characters here, because it's really one of the first times we're tying into it. So I'm interested to see it past like Superman.
Yeah, I'm happy to see it. I know James. I'm not sure if he wrote the show. I know he's co-producing it. So because it doesn't look like it's the vein of a James Gunn show to me. Peacemaker obviously has him written all over it. I did not like Peacemaker season 2 at all. I thought season 1 was great, 10 out of 10. Season 2, I would have given that like a 6. I did not really enjoy it much at all. So I'm hoping this person, whoever wrote this, is actually in tune with the books a little bit, can bring in, it doesn't have to be a 1-for-1, but can bring in their character, can flesh out Jon Stewart's character, make him more into a leader, grow up a little bit in the show. He looks like he's kind of hardened when the trailer first starts. I mean, he was a Marine, so I guess that makes sense. Yeah. What I'm looking forward to seeing, besides Guy Gardner, I'm looking forward to them showing some more alien Green Lanterns. Hal Jordan does mention the squirrel. I really forgot his name. The squirrel. I think it's just Chip. Honestly, I think his name is Chip in the comic books. I'm looking forward to seeing somebody like him.
Yeah. No, I mean that would be cool, especially see other lanterns and bringing them in. So I think we're gonna get a lot more. They're just hiding a lot going into this, which is what they should do, because it's like the less you show on these expectations down, like okay, I feel this is grounded, and the better you can surprise people on the back end.
Yeah, so I'm optimistic about this. I'm going in strong, I'm going in with high hopes. If I go in there and they get rid of Hal Jordan and Sinestro, boy, am I going to be hot. I'm going to be hot. I just don't think, like, I'm going to harp on, I don't think it's a good move to get rid of him in the first season. I don't. I think you have to get rid of him like in a movie, because like I said, to this day, he's like the most popular Green Lantern. I don't see how you can do that.
Yeah. Also, I think one of the advantages of maybe not having James Gunn's hands all over everything. I don't know if he wrote it or I don't think he's directing. From what I see, but yeah, it's the fact that we got a different hero. Let's get a different feel. Like that way when they come together, you feel like you have different things actually crossing over other than the same world. Like Superman, it was in one town, Peacemaker's in the next town, the Green Lantern's right over there. Kind of like not James Gunn, Zack Snyder, where they're all like right next to each other. You get different feels in every one, and that kind of feels better when they all come together. So and just see if somebody else can put their kind of spin on it. Honestly, there's so many talented directors out there. I would have got one who's directed crime before. If I want to do a training story or maybe a military story and kind of have their input on this. And that's something I feel like they do too much, is too many people have their hands in too many different types of stories versus using advantage. Now, don't do Marvel or just give a new person free reign to do whatever they want. That's how I think they've got some of their worst movies. But I think giving somebody experience with different genres and bringing them in like, hey, like you do crime well, let's try to add some superhero elements. We'll help you out, and then let's see what you can come up with. And I think that grows the universe, gives you different tones inside the same universe. It makes for a better story when things all come together.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like I said, I think it looks a lot different than a Peacemaker show. I know James Gunn has a huge slate of shows coming out. I know everyone was excited about Lanterns because after all these years, since like the 80s, we've never really had a proper Lantern movie. We're going to ignore Ryan Reynolds' 2011 movie, but we've never had not even good. We've never had a live action Green Lantern movie before. And that's crazy because they're like the founding members of the Justice League is Hal Jordan. He should have been in there. That's kind of crazy if you think about it. So
really only Ryan Reynolds. That's the only one we
got. About time they brought in one of the other main characters in there. He should have been in Zack Snyder's Justice League, but he just showed a bunch of regular old Green Lanterns beating regular soldiers from Darkseid in the first part of his movie.
I think they had can't remember me if I'm wrong. I think Zack Snyder, they had a cut scene where like a lantern showed up, but he never actually made it onto they had a scene where Alfred was talking to somebody and it was supposed to be a lantern. I think it was supposed to be like
Kilowog.
Yeah, Kilowog played by The Rock, I think, or something. I think so. I don't know if that was the original plan, but it was something. They had something where a lantern was off screen talking to Alfred and it was a cut scene. I'm like, that don't even make sense. Like you show up to Earth, that's who you go talk to, but whatever. So I'm happy we're getting it in live action. We're seeing it because again, we haven't really. It's something new, and again, I'm glad with the different tones because we've dealt with Peacemaker and just a comedic world that happens, and that's cool for a goofy character. Now, if you're gonna go with this serious tone, I don't want to be laughing should be laughing through all of the show. It's like it feels more serious, and the trailer gives you that. So I like that a lot.
Yeah, I'm down for a more serious show. I know he has other shows in this slate, like Amanda Waller, which is my most anticipated show. She about to turn up. Everybody got to go when she comes on the screen, and the Themyscira show, Wonder Woman's people. So we got a lot to look forward to from DC, and looks like Lanterns is up first. Super excited. I can't wait. I hope they do the characters justice. But that's our thoughts. We like the trailer. Let us know your thoughts. Like, subscribe, comment. Let us know what's going on. Flyknit. If they want to reach us anywhere else but here, where can they find us?
Yeah, everything's in the bio, but you're going to go to Kuronocomics on TikTok. You also have MLF Shorts on TikTok there. So find it there. And also MLF Shorts is on Instagram. So other than that, everything's on the bio here. Also check out the video. Scotty did a breakdown of Guy Gardner. It should be down in the archives a little bit. So you'll find that video. And for more comic breakdowns, you know where to find them right here. Hit that like button.
All right. And that's all we have for y'all today. We'll catch y'all next time.